And I'd like to welcome you to this online briefing of all of our open enrollment courses that we have. I'm going to take you through a series of slides over the next 40 to 50 minutes describing who we are, what we do, where we do what we do, and your responsibilities to yourself and to your children that come here. So let's start with the first slide. Our mission, quite easily, to help people discover and develop their potential, to care for themselves, others, and the world around them through challenging experiences in unfamiliar settings. Uh, for the duration of the course that your young person comes to us, they will be challenged physically, mentally, and emotionally, but safely as well. How do we do all this? Well, we use our educational framework. What I'd like to stress here is that we don't just provide activities. We are not indeed an activity provider. What we provide are outdoor education, the emphasis on the word education. And what you see in front of you on this slide is our educational framework. These are the areas that we like to touch upon within the course to actually make sure that our young people aren't just coming here and doing things, but they're actually coming here and learning things. Learning is relative, in my opinion, and what we tend to do. I'm a parent. Let me just put that in now. What we tend to do as parents, we keep our young people very, very, very safe. Sometimes too safe, and I'm guilty of that myself. What you are doing as a parent is actually saying, yes, I want my son or daughter to go to Outward Bound and experience what Outward Bound do. This slide is what Outward Bound do. We make sure that your young people, although safe all the time, are sometimes put out of their comfort zone. That comfort zone at least will be stretched. And there are some slides later on that show young people doing various activities. And when they came here, they had no idea what they were going to be doing or what the weather was going to be doing. And actually being outside your comfort zone is liberating. It is educational. It is developmental. And it is a key ingredient as to what we do here. And where do we do this? Our base is at Taimong Sai. This is an aerial view of our base. This is where your young people will stay. And there's various buildings on this slide. And your children will be staying in those buildings. From this view here, we see the buildings looking out towards the sea. The next slide we will see is from the sea looking back at the buildings. And I'm biased, but no matter which way you look at Taimong Sai, our base, it is stunning. It is absolutely beautiful, and it is a wonderful place for your people to grow. Not necessarily physically, but growing in developmentally. In addition to our Taimong Sai, we have our Akan Wan base, which is only a few hundred meters away from our Taimong Sai. So they are technically connected by a small road. But as you can see, our Akan Wan base, it is a specifically sited base in that it is just high ropes area, but it has wonderful facilities where we hold conferences, and your young people will be able to utilize those facilities whilst they're on the course. So that's our base. So what we've looked at so far is introduction. We've had a look at our what we do, where we do it, and now we're going to have a look at who does this. Our people. Our people are the difference between activities and educational process. And they are the difference because they're highly skilled, highly trained, very competent and knowledgeable instructors. The primary role is safety and engaging with your children, but they are the frontline workers that will be day-to-day contact with your young people. The relationships that they will build with your young people create this whole sense of safety and well-being. They are a fantastic resource, and we are very lucky to have our instructors. What courses do we do here? Okay, you are coming on what we call the individual courses. So these are the open enrollment courses, which we will go through over the next few slides. But just in case you were wondering what else we do here, We have educational courses, so we work extensively with schools throughout Hong Kong. We work with community groups, and the variety of community groups that we work with is quite extensive. And we also have a corporate division. We call it OB Pro, Outward Bound Pro, where we work with corporates that look to come here for team leading and development, personal and professional development. Let's move on to the courses. Individual courses, centre-based, discovery course, explorer course. And then we've got the off-site courses, which we call journey-based courses. Adventure Expedition 18-day Classic Achievers, 3-day Outward Bound certificate course, and an 8-day Leadership and Team Development course. The next few slides are going to go through these courses individually and identify where you are within the program that you opted into. Our discovery course, as you can see, this is really important to us. This is age 9 to 11. It's centre-based and it's 5 days, 4 nights. One of those nights will be camping. We call it wild camping, and what we mean by that is it will generally be off base, but not necessarily in a wild area, but just an area located that's easily accessible because of the nature of this course and because of the age group as well. 12 in a team. We try to make sure that it's 12 in a team. What's wonderful about all of these courses, certainly the first 3, the Discovery, the Explorer course, and the Adventurer course, is we get lots of people coming from all over Hong Kong, and your young person will not know most of the people on the course. And I think it's important that you realise that, and that's the strength of the course. If they come with 6 of their friends, then we lose the strength of the course because we've got groups of people that are already comfortable with each other, and we get very little learning and development. So please don't be worried if there's no friends that you know of coming on a course. They will make friends. The Explorer course, you've sent your young person to us between the ages of 9 and 11, and you want to send them back. You were so happy with the course, you want to send them back, but you don't want them to do the same course as they did last time. And this is where we differentiate the courses. The Explorer course, as you can see already, it's from 12 to 14. Same 5 days, 4 nights, centre-based the same, but the camping could be 1 to 2 nights. Now, the 1 to 2 nights is weather dependent. If it's really terrible, there'll be no nights out camping. But if it's really nice weather and fine weather, then we'll go for the 2. If we can only get 1 day out of it, we will. Same team number, 12. 12 in each team. Same principles as the last time. They might not know anybody else in the team, but that is the strength. The Adventurer Expedition. Again, the age range is 15 to 17. Now, this is a journey-based course. So the other 2 are centre-based courses, and they are developing as young people into just young adults. And what we need to do is differentiate and make sure young adults have space with each other to actually learn from each other. If we start reducing the effectiveness of that by just opening it up to any age, we do lose a lot of the outcomes, and we don't want to do that. So the 15 to 17, all the age brackets we're very strict upon because we go through process. It is for a reason, and we are going to stick with that. So the journey-based, wild camping or on different islands all the time. Now the journey, it's important to stress here. You see kayaks there. The journey might be land. Again, there's a lot of weather-dependent stuff here. So it might be land. It might be a mixture of land and water. So whatever slides you see, they are just a snapshot, not an absolute definition. The journeys will be sorted out based on a number of factors. The 18-day Classic Achievers course. This is the longest course that we do at OBHK. And it is, because it's such a long course, then it's got to be for the right kind of people, the right age brackets, the right cognitive abilities, and the strength of characters as well. All journey-based, all wild camping, and 18 days is a long time. Very self-sustaining. It's very committed people. And what we tend to find with the 18-day courses, we get those people that have come through the Discovery, the Adventurer, and the other courses. So they come back to us and want to really push themselves personally and to see what they can get out of an 18-day course. Our next program is a 3-day outward bound certificate course. And as you can see, adult journey. And this is sometimes a stress buster. It's for any adult that goes to work 5-6 days a week and needs some time to reconnect, to be a part of nature instead of being a part of work. And this is what this is for. A perfect time to sign up for those courses. We do not run many in the year, probably two. So places are very limited, but very, very valuable places. So please move on. All journey coursed, and you will be out on the island and in the wild. This is the 8-day leadership and team development course. Again, all adults. Who's this geared for? This is geared for young professionals who want to look at learning leadership styles, team development in a different setting than their company. And interestingly, we do get companies sending some of their young professionals onto these courses because of the difference. Leadership goes across any platform, so these are really useful, and the courses are quite extraordinary, really. It's very easy to measure all these courses and measure one against the other, but the 8-day leadership and team development is wonderful stepping stone for your professional development. And it's not just an outward bound course, it's about the transfer of learning from outward bound into your workplace. What to expect, and this is a what to expect from OBHK, and I think this next series of slides hopefully will answer some of your questions that you have about your young people and how safe they will be and what they wear and where they go and who looks after them. Safety, I think this is a really fantastic place to start. Safety is a theme that runs through all of Outward Bound courses. As you can see from this photograph here, this is an instructor giving safety briefing to a particular group of young people about a particular activity. Those safety briefings will be delivered on all the activities. They will be delivered in terms of people's behaviour. They will be delivered in terms of what equipment we use. They will be delivered in terms of skill sets. They will be delivered in various ways. So we don't just have one to do with paddling. We have one for all the events that we hold during the course. PPE, personal protective equipment. Safety is one thing. Now we can talk and ask people and guide people into what it is that we should be doing in the appropriate ways of doing that and managing ourselves and managing the environment that we're in. But we also need to provide them with the appropriate equipment to do that. So if you have a look at this slide, this is a really good slide, especially the young person in the front. They've got gloves on the hands to protect from the sun. They've got a hat on the head. They've got a buff on to protect everything from the sun. We give them a personal flotation device to make sure that if they go in the water, they will stay safe. We give them quality equipment to do their jobs, the paddle and the boat. This is all PPE and the appropriate equipment to do any of the activities. Again, this is a kayaking one, but if they were climbing, they would have the appropriate harnesses, the appropriate carabiners, or the appropriate hardware to be able to do any of those activities. So PPE is hugely important in all the things that we do. We've looked at the safety, we've looked at the PPE, now we need to look at the staff. And we introduced our staff before and how skilled, knowledgeable and experienced they are. But if we only have one member of staff to 100 people, that's going to be a very dangerous situation, no matter how knowledgeable they are. So what we have are very strict guidelines in ratios with the activities that we do. On this particular photograph, you see one instructor to one double kayak, which are participants. In reality, that's just a snapshot. In reality, we would have 2 instructors to a group of 12 on all technical activities. Technical activities include anything to do with water, so the gorge walking, the coast steering, the kayaking, anything to do with climbing, so the CRC, which I will introduce you to some of these later, the high ropes course the CRC is, any abseiling and things like that. So we work on a 2-to-12 ratio on all technical activities. We work on a 1-to-12 ratio on game activities or on-site activities or camping activities. What's also important is we are here to make your young people, not break your young people. Challenge by choice. It is something that we we really take to heart. We never make anybody do anything. We give them the opportunity to do these things. Sometimes they don't want to do it. They see their friends do it and they realize it's safe and then they do it. What we do is support them in that process. And you might not think that when you look at the photograph, the first photograph. The instructor there is not pushing the person in. The instructor there is guiding to make sure that they don't fall backwards and bang their head on the platform. Equally on that photograph, there is another instructor in the water, 2 to 12 ratio. Challenge by choice on all the activities we do is vitally important. We do not want people to feel like they were made to do anything. Self-sufficiency in the outdoors. I think the first photograph on the left is a fantastic photograph. Any young person that comes to us and gets the opportunity of being underwater like that, it's just joyous. They love it, even though the waters are really cold. The self-sufficiency here is not about whether we put them under the water. The self-sufficiency is about how they manage themselves when they come out of the water. As you can see, to go in, they've got a helmet on, they've got a buoyancy aid, the PPE that we spoke about before, they've got appropriate footwear, they've got appropriate clothing to do the activity. But when they come out, if they stand on the bank shivering and not being self-sufficient, getting themselves dry, getting themselves into warm, dry clothing, then they will suffer a bit. Our staff will be there to guide them, but this is where the self-sufficiency comes in. They've got to be able to manage themselves a little bit. The other one on the right-hand side is when we find ourselves on these distant islands, which it mentioned in the courses that we run, we have to cook our own food. We have to prepare for not just ourselves, but the rest of the group. This is a wonderful learning opportunity. And people of 9 and 11 years of age don't necessarily get at home. And this is an area that we manage equally just as well as any safety briefing that we give. So it's important that we do these things. These are life skills as well. The cooking outdoors is life skills. The being looking after yourself when conditions aren't exactly as you'd hoped. These are life skills that will set them up for future life. Challenges. Now, we could have 100 slides on all the challenges that we do here. The limit is endless, quite frankly. What we try to do is give in any one period of time, so 5 days, if it's a 5-day course that they're doing, an adventure course. We class these activities into land and water. So if you have a look at this slide here, we've got hiking, we've got camping, we've got navigation, we've got the high ropes, which we call CRC, and we've also got gorge walking. Even though they might get wet gorge walking, it is still classed as a land activity because of its location geographically. You might not do all of these, but you will do some of these. We're in Hong Kong. We have an abundance of water, so we embrace it as much as we can. And you saw from our time on site, water is everywhere for us. So here we've got dragon boating, we've got rafting, we've got kayaking, we've got co-steering. Again, your young people might do all or some of these, but they will definitely do some of these. They are wonderful activities. We're moving on to, if your young person's here, excuse me, I think this is going to get a little bit serious, this little bit. What we do get, and quite rightly so, when you've sent your 9-year-old to Outward Bound Hong Kong, you're worried, you're concerned. And I think that's being a decent parent. But what you must do is wait for us to call you. No news is good news. Do not be ringing every day to find out if your son or daughter is still okay. If we don't call you, they are okay. They are more than okay. They're probably having great fun. And I don't want to spoil that great fun by saying, oh, your mum's rang or your dad's rang. Please, parents, I'm asking you, and if I have to, I will ring and tell you this if you keep ringing. Do not ring unless we ring you first. And it's just let the week happen. Let the young people have a good time. Sense of place, respect for the environment. Hong Kong is the most wonderful city and cityscape, and yet it's surrounded by these very views that you've got in front of you, this wild open places that we can just enjoy being in touch with nature. And when we talk about sense of place, what we're trying to say here is what we do in the city isn't necessarily what we do here in the wild places, in the beautiful places. We're calmer, we're more collective, we can be in touch with nature, we can be at one with ourselves, we can respect each other so easily. And that's all we're asking, that you talk to your young person and ask them to come and enjoy, just completely enjoy where we are, and leave the city and the homes behind it a little bit and have that sense of place. So we've spoken about where we do all of this in terms of time on site. We're in the country park over in Sycombe for most of the activities. It does afford us wonderful opportunities. But we haven't spoken too much about where we put up your young people. Where do they sleep? You know they're going to do a camp at least one night. So it's important that we know where they're sleeping, or not necessarily where, but how they're sleeping. So we've got the camping here, and these are the tents. We've got new tents now, actually. These are quite old tents. We've got brand new tents that are more waterproof, well, very waterproof, and they accommodate your young people in the tent. They will be in with two other people, so there'll be maximum 3 people in a tent. They will have a mat to lie on that insulates them from the ground. They will have a sleeping bag to sleep in, a sleeping bag liner. So they will be warm. They will be in a safe space. And when they're camping out at night, our instructors will be there. So your young people do not camp by themselves. The instructor will be there in their own tent in a very close proximity to the groups. And when we look at the dormitories, which I'm going to show you next, and then we compare it to this, there is no comparison. Most people wouldn't choose to live or stay in a tent for a long time. But when we stay out in tents and we get mornings like this morning that they're looking at here, it is outstanding. It will stay with them for a long, long time. There will be memories that will not go away in a hurry. These are our dormitories. I don't know if anybody really remembers the dormitories. They're a very functional piece of our equipment that we have here. Each person gets their own bed and each person gets their own locker. So if you have a look at the dormitory on the picture on the left-hand side, you'll see the lockers underneath. What we ask for is when your young people are staying in the dormitories, which they will do, that they look after them. That they will get the same sleeping bag and the same sleeping bag liner, and they will get the things that they need to sleep successfully. What we need them to do is keep it as clean as they can, use the drawers available to them, make sure that it's, because it is a shared space, that shared space is looked after, and that they respect it as they would their own home. As you can see on the 2 photographs here, there is nothing, no litter left behind, there is no clothing left behind, and we really would like that if your young people could come and leave them as they found them. So mum, dad, make sure that your son or daughter brings back all the clothing that they took out with them. I've gone through who we are, where we are, what we do, how we do it, and where your young people are going to be. This next section of the input is more about what you do as parents and what your young people do before they arrive and when they arrive. So the enrollment process, quite simple timeline. Learn about what we do. So please do not turn up not knowing what we do. Our website is very informative. You will get this video to look and observe and actually get a full understanding of what we're trying to do. If it's right for you and your children, then go to the open enrollment, then go to payment. We will send you out some information regarding prepare your course, which is about packing things, and you'll see this further in the presentation. And then on course, I think this is a wonderful photograph. That smiley person, I loved seeing teeth. When you see teeth, it means people are smiling. We need your young person to come here with a wonderful mindset. If you've done the learning appropriately and they are part of the enrollment and the whole process, then they should come on course with a really wonderful, joyous outlook and want to get out of it as much as they can. And the very last slide, complete your journey. Hands up, people cheering. And we do get people not wanting to go home at the end of the week. So we do something right. So the enrollment form, this is about clarity of information. What we need you, mum and dad and children, is to inform us on the enrollment form, especially the medical part of this, all the information that is necessary for your son or daughter to be on our course. What happens once you've filled that form and it comes into us and then we do our bit, which is we put it through medical screening, and it takes a long, long time if we have to start finding things out that weren't necessarily highlighted on the form. What we can't do is if you do not tell us about things on the medical screening form and your young person comes over here and then we find out when they are here, we can't deal with that effectively, we need to send them back home. So please be very clear and concise on the medical form, and then be also clear and concise about allergies, food allergies. We make sure that our dietary requirements for your young people are accurate. When we talk about allergies, we actually mean allergies. We don't mean likes and dislikes. Likes and dislikes can't be catered for in terms of medical screening. Packing for your course is a very simple one. Most of this will be done in a video, but for now, we will talk about what it is that you do in terms of packing for your course, because I think it's important to know, and we live in Hong Kong, so we know what the weather's like here, that there is no such thing as bad weather, only bad clothing. So please, packing for your course, ensure that we are actually covering our young people's well-being in terms of the weather, whether it's too cold, whether it's too hot, whether we need to protect them from the sun, whether they need sunglasses, all of those things. Let's be proactive about packing the right clothing for the course. Hong Kong Observatory is very good. We can all see a 9-day forecast and we can work accordingly on that. Toilet use, base and wilderness. I think we get a lot of parents asking us about toilets. When we're on site, it's a very easy question to answer. We've got lots of toilet facilities on site and there should be no problems whatsoever. When we are off site, and some, the younger ones will be camping one night, and as they get older, more nights, then it becomes more of an issue. But we can't use the outdoors badly. We have to use toilets where we can, public toilets. So the campsites will, when we're camping at night, will be taking this into consideration. So access to toilets is a primary concern of ours, and it's part of our safety policies that we do that. Get full access to toilets when we're camping. We insist that your young person brings a 1 litre water bottle with them. Please don't bring a 2 litre or a 3 litre, because if they fill it up, that's 3 kilograms. If they fill a 2 litre up, that's 2 kilograms. 1 kilogram is perfectly adequate for all people to carry. We will have water everywhere, so we can fill those water bottles up if and when they drink it all. And it's more about when, not if. So if they're going to be walking for a long time and they've got a 3 litre water bottle and it's full, that is weight that they do not need to carry. So we've got to be mindful of that. That's why the 1 litre. Baby powder, talcum powder. This is when it's really sunny. We've got to make sure that we keep dry. This is about well-being more than anything else, and making sure that your young people have got some talcum powder that they can put on parts of the body that might be getting a bit of heat rash due to the weather, or they're getting rash from some of the equipment that they're wearing with OBHK. Going down the column, we've got to menstruation and the menstruation cycle. Mums, dads, this is about your young girls or young women that are going to come on course. Please be mindful of menstruation cycle, and if it's going to happen during the course, that is not a reason for them not to come. We have very skilled and experienced first aid qualified instructors, female instructors, that will support your young person in this process. But please provide them with the right materials to support their journey whilst they're here on that week. Going on contact lenses, I wear contact lenses. I wear spectacle and contact lenses. When I'm doing the activities, I always wear contact lenses. And I think keep your hands clean is a really valuable message. I don't know whether your young people can put them in without looking in a mirror, or we're having the resources there to put them in. I know I'm not very good at that, but I can manage it. And when I do that, my hands are usually not clean. So I try to wash them before I start putting my contact lenses back in. Eye hygiene is paramount. So make sure that there is your hand sanitizer for them to be able to put the contact lenses in safely. The glasses strap. I wish I had $100 for every single pair of glasses I've lost to the sea or to water. This is why I wear contact lenses now. I don't lose many contact lenses directly off my eye. I have lost many spectacles because I have not put a strap on. I am saying to you, please put a strap on your son's or daughter's spectacles. My daughter wears spectacles and she's lost a few over the years, and I know firsthand how expensive they are. For a piece of string that goes around a set of glasses, let's work on safety rather than expenditure. Sunglasses. So as I said, I wear contact lenses and normal glasses. When I'm wearing contact lenses, I have no problem wearing sunglasses. When I'm wearing normal glasses, I do have a bit of a problem. But you can buy sunglasses that will go over spectacles these days, that protect your son's or daughter's eyes from UV rays. As it says, they're highly recommended, especially if they're kayaking, if they're on the water bounces up and reflects directly into the glare bounces up and hits them directly in the eye. So they are more susceptible on the water for their eyes getting damaged than they are on land. So sunglasses is hugely important. And the last part is more of a wish. If your young person has been completely involved in the whole process, then they know they will be coming on what dates they are coming to OBHK. If they are not outdoorsy people and don't really do exercise firsthand, it would be nice if they got some kind of exercise in before they come, just to give them greater opportunity to enjoy everything that we do here. We did speak earlier about packing. I'm not going to play this video for you. You can play this at your leisure. This is a video that goes through all your young person needs to bring with them whilst they're doing it to be successful on an outward bound course. What I would say as a parent again, please don't go and spend lots of money on all this expensive equipment just because they are coming to an outward bound course. Use the old clothing that you've got in your home. It doesn't matter if it gets damaged or wet or dirty. Just make sure that they've got the right clothing, but it does not have to be new. It just has to be adequate for the weather conditions that we're going to get. And we're happy to dispose of the clothing at the end of it. If they don't take it back with them, we'll take it down to the charity shop and place it there. Once you've watched the video, you will then move on to the last section of it. And it's about logistics. Logistics is a great word. It's about when we do what we do, and when you do what you should be doing. We've already done everything, and your young people are so keen to get here. They're up at 5 o'clock in the morning. You're up with them at 6 o'clock in the morning, and you decide to be here at 6:15. If you're here at 6:15 for 2 hours and 30 minutes before somebody will come to you. So don't wait there for 2 hours and 30 minutes. Turn up at 8:45, as it says here, and do it at this point. What you've got here is a whole series of roads and interconnections. Please don't drive down the road here because there are other users down there. We are asking you not to go down there and certainly not to park at this point here. The star on this photograph is where our staff will be from about 8:30 onwards. We need to see you at 8:45. The 9 o'clock till 9:30, which is the opening ceremony, which you are welcome to, but at 9:30 you go home. Because the course starts for your young people. The closing ceremony, when we can celebrate their success, it will be the last day of the course, will be between 3 o'clock and 3:30. And this is where we really want you to be, Mum and Dad. We want you to be there and celebrate what your young people have done. But again, this is the closing ceremony. Do not park on this road. So this slide talks about meeting point. It is also the point that you should not be when it's at the end of the course either. The next slide is going to show you exactly where you park on both occasions. This is 200 meters down the road. In fact, we do send you a Google Map connection for this. 200 meters down the road from our meeting point. It is a pay and display, so it's $2 for every 15 minutes. If you look at the timings on the last slide, then you shouldn't need more than an hour. So it's going to cost you the grand total of $8. There are always parking spaces there. So please do not park where we've asked you not to park. The next slide is going to reiterate that. Park here. As we said, the next slide is going to show you where not to park. OBHK will take no responsibility for you parking here, but if the police come, they will book you because we're not allowed to park here. And the reason why we don't want you to park there is because if one does it, more will do it. And if more do it, then we get congested. And we just need your young people to be free to move around. So please don't park there. This is the Google connection as to where you should park. Please open it up and it'll pinpoint exactly where it is. And once you've finished, you could actually go into the noodle shack that's close by for some food. It is a lovely place. So these are our last slides, and I think it's really important that we talk about the weather. The weather in Hong Kong, we're talking about various months in the year, and we can have it from like this, where there's mist. We can have it rainy, we can have it sunny, we can have it really hot, we can have typhoons, we can have black rain. What we want to talk to you about the bad weather, we always said that there's no such thing as bad weather, just bad clothing. That's what you pack. What we're going to talk here about is what we do when the weather is adverse. So we'll go on to the next slide here. So special weather conditions, different arrangements. Please don't come on the start day of the course if typhoon number 8 or above. Red or black rainstorm signal, cut-off time is 7 o'clock. So what we're saying is if it's Typhoon 8, don't come. If it's a red or black, do not come. If you get notification before 7 o'clock that it's all okay, great. If it's after 7 o'clock, even if it's 10 past 7, do not turn up. And we will be getting in touch with you. The other thing I want to mention about the weather is that's on a start there. We're talking about the start of a program, but we could get these conditions during the program. And I need to tell you that you turning up at our base in a Typhoon 8 or a red and black rain is not safe. So I'm saying to you, don't travel in those conditions. And the reason why I'm saying to you, don't travel in those conditions, because OBHK have very strong principles and policies around special weather conditions. Your young people will already be back on site, no matter where they were before. They will be back on site and they will be in dormitories. They will be safe. They are safer in our dormitories during these conditions than they would be in your car driving back home. So please do not do that. We will keep you fully informed. Finally, do's and don'ts. The first one, bottom left, do not give your children a second phone so you can keep in touch with them. We made a statement before, no news is good news. If your child gets a phone call from you, having already handed a phone in, your child will not need to get a phone call from you anymore. They will be able to speak to you directly. They will be going home. There is no grey area here. Do not do this. Do not give your child a second phone because you want to keep in touch with them. Language. This is about appropriate language when you are on site, your young people are on site. Now, for the little ones, this isn't a big problem, but for some of the older ones that are self-sufficient and coming in by themselves, we need to make sure that everybody's safeguarded from bad language. So bad language is not tolerated in any way on site. Again, this is one of those situations. If it happens, you will be leaving site. If you've got parents that are coming to pick you up, they will be informed as to why you're leaving site. It isn't acceptable under no circumstances. Smoking, again, not acceptable. This is a no smoking site. And again, with all the little people that, parents looking at this and going, my child's only 9, they don't smoke. This isn't about just your child. This is about all the users of OBHK. And what we need to be is clear on the uses of cigarettes. It is a no smoking site. None will be tolerated in any way, shape, or form. Again, anybody breaking that rule will be going home. So this is more about reassuring you as a mum and dad that your 9-year-old will not be subjected to anybody smoking on site. Last, this is about mum and dad. It's also about your little people, your children. Look after yourself. Mum, dad, keep ringing every 5 minutes is not looking after yourself. That is about you being stressed because you're wondering if they're okay, your little people are okay. No news is good news. We do have tears here. We do. And they do miss you, mum and dad. They really do. But they can get over it. We can get them through it. Let them enjoy the week. So that's about mum and dad looking after themselves. Now we need to talk about the little people or anybody who's on one of our courses looking after themselves. If they're not getting a telephone call every 5 minutes, they're going to be far better looking after themselves. So please don't call them. Let them enjoy the time here. Looking after themselves is making sure that they wash themselves in the morning, that they do the teeth, that they're prepared for the day. So please, if you're a mum and dad and you've traditionally done that and ensured that happens for your little person before they come on course, let them have a little bit of time, the preparation for the course, which was a slide that we looked at earlier. Let them prepare. Let them come here and be self-sufficient so they can look after themselves. Thank you very much. That's the end of the presentation. If you've got any questions, then please call us and we will endeavour to answer all of them. I do appreciate your time. Thank you. Bye.